The horror game genre is loved by millions, but also hated by just as many. But why? Why is it some of us chase the adrenaline of a chainsaw-wielding psychopath, or a tyrant that will literally stop at nothing until you are dead, yet others would rather run a marathon than play any sort of horror game? Well, in today's video, I'm going to dive into what makes horror games so beautiful in a sort of twisted kind of way. So what do I believe makes horror so twisted and fun? I believe it all comes down to one thing: fear. Fear is what drives us as human beings. We study because we are scared that if we fail, we'll get a bad job. We lie because we're scared of the truth. We work out because we are scared if we don't, then we will die sooner. The list could be endless. Horror is a genre of video game that can be wildly different from anything else on the market, even though at the same time being different from what else is also considered horror. For example, let's take Little Nightmares. That is vastly different in its approach to fear as, say, The Evil Within. One constantly forces you to run with no means of attack and bases its horror around visuals, while the other gives you weapons that are almost useless while you fight mostly psychological monsters. What I'm trying to say is how a game builds its tension and its fear is super important for it to have any sort of lasting impact on its player. This doesn't really help games like Emily Wants to Play though, where the whole tension of the game is built around a jump scare. Yeah, it gives the game notoriety as people shit their pants at the sight of a screaming dead girl jumping out straight in front of your face.
Do you reckon Emily fears me? Because that's why she's getting amazing.
But after a while, and after you've failed enough times, you easily become desensitized and move through the game with relative ease. Now let's look at something a little bit different to the approach to horror: Resident Evil 7. Because tension in Resident Evil 7, that shit real. It introduces an insane family that is unhinged to say the least. A horde of undead sludge will get in your way as you go through a maze like House, and a ship to finally unearth the truth as to why this family is so fucked up. Having to take on each member of the Baker family, which gives the game more depth as each boss fight is littered with different challenges, making the characters seem more terrifying than a simple jump scare ever could. Also, tension is built wildly different in these games, as in Emily Wants to Play, you'll play as a pizza guy delivering a pizza. I know, what a concept, it's crazy. You probably want to get behind the protagonist, come on. It feels like the storyline though, doesn't it? It's like drop off a pizza, oh my god, next thing you know. Like a bit of like a porno movie. While Resident Evil 7 concentrates on following Ethan, a guy who is looking for his missing wife when she got lost during work. Again, yeah, you know, it's kind of, you're gonna back Ethan going after his bird, or a guy delivering some cheesy chips. Dunno. I joke I play, you're clearly going to be going after the guy who's going after his bird like a four. Absolute alpha male he is. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved Emily Wants to Play in Resident Evil 7, but I also can totally understand that the creators were going for two completely different approaches to the genre and use very different tools to get their reactions. Horror's always had different and quirky ways to build tension and put fear into its players, but its lasting effect that it has on the player is what makes them come back, or what makes them cry in the corner, never wanting to find out what happened to that guy's girlfriend. I think what makes horror so beautiful is the fact it truly can be anything it wants, as long as it takes the player on a ride through grit and emotions, either to get away from the fear or to face said fear. Fear will and has always motivated a lot of human behavior, and that's why I personally love it. You never truly know as well with horror if anyone is actually dead. Let's take Resident Evil 5 for example. Wesker is in a pot of lava and is then shot with a rocket, and I honestly, deep down inside, don't know if he's genuinely dead. Like, he should be dead 100%, but this is horror and this is Resident Evil. Will he come back? Who knows? So do you love or loathe the genre? Let me know in the comment sections below, because I enjoy talking to you guys and I love to see both people. I spoke to my good friend Adam and he said he loves horror, and then I spoke to Jimmy and he said he hates it. So it would be great to see what you guys think of this subject. But as for now, thank you so much for watching and listening to the rambles of a millennial wank off the horror genre for the past 5 minutes. And I'm probably going to go play Resident Evil 2 for the 30th time. Peace.